Hello everybody, it's Alex here. So, if you haven't heard the news by now, which if you're on the left, maybe you have, maybe you haven't, Senator Mike Gravel, a former U.S. Senator from Alaska and two-time Democratic presidential candidate, has passed away at the age of 91. This is definitely a loss for the left and a loss for America too, really. Senator Gravel was seriously... I've come to the realization that there are no heroes in politics. But Mike Gravel is about as close to one as we've had, at least within the past 5 or so decades. He's almost as close as we've come. He's up there. He's up there with one of the closest we've ever come to having that. And someone, I was aware of his existence, obviously, but I didn't really know who he was and what he accomplished until about 2 years ago when he ran for president. Ran for president because he was never actually trying to win. He was just trying to get his ideas out there. And, some people might be like, oh, well, then it's kind of a gimmick and you're not really actually trying to win, so what's the point? Well, I liked what he was pushing, and I think he had a really strong message. He was a very staunchly anti-imperialist messenger, and he walked the walk on it too. Perhaps what he's most notable for is in 1971, almost exactly 50 years ago to this day. Like today's what, June 27th, June 29th was the anniversary. This day, Sunday the 27th, this Tuesday the 29th is the anniversary of him doing it. Reading the Pentagon Papers into the Senate record, which declassified them and exposed the war crimes that the U.S. was committing in the Vietnam War and the lies that the past several administrations had told the American people about it, and how that they were talking about potentially bombing North Vietnam despite assurances publicly that they had no plans to do that. This was stuff that the American people had a right to know, and Mike Gravel really stood up for whistleblowers who to this day obviously are continuously vilified because apparently committing war crimes and lying about them is completely fine. Exposing them, you've crossed the line. But Mike Gravel stood up for whistleblowers with that. And, today we see the vilification of people like Julian Assange and Edward Snowden, who, despite telling the truth, are still vilified to this day. And to have someone like Mike Gravel in a position of power, even if it was long ago, actually supporting whistleblowers and being aware that the public had a right to know of the atrocities that the U.S. government was committing. It's very important that he did that. He also waged an ultimately unsuccessful campaign to end the Vietnam draft. He came really close. Really close, but no cigar. There are people who say, oh, and even he says, yeah, I ended the draft. No, he didn't end the draft. He was close, but he didn't, unfortunately. And then, he ran for president in 2008 as a Democrat and later as a Libertarian because, he wasn't getting anywhere in the primary. And he went off. He went off on all the imperialistic candidates in the primary. I'll put some links down below to some of the videos of him just completely kicking ass on the debate stage. Maybe only have one, but it's really all you need to see. Get that, and also got a video of him about the Pentagon Papers. I got a ton of links below. I'll talk about that. You'll see. But he was staunchly anti-imperialist. He didn't always get it right when he was a senator, but he was incredibly honest and a wrecking ball, really, which is rare. You rarely see someone, especially on the left, like just completely call out and say, just call out everybody who's just BSing. And I feel like we need more people like him. We need more people with his just force and his ability to, not only his ability, but his willingness to call people out on their bluff and to just show the truth and tell the American people what they deserve to know. And, you know, he also was a big proponent of direct democracy. A legislature of the people is what it's called. Well, that's what he's proposed it. And, you know, because he knows that, like, Congress does not represent the people. They're making laws for the people that they are completely out of touch with. And, you know, the old saying goes, you know, you don't change the system changes you. There are plenty of people who that's true for. But, you know, having someone like him advocate for more direct democracy is definitely something that I think needs to be talked about more. And that gets to the bigger thing of this video. How can we honor... Well, before I get to that, I want to get... As you can see, I didn't really script this video. I didn't really plan it out. I didn't really, like, research it that much. This isn't like my other videos. I'm just doing this because I want to give my reaction to the news. Because I woke up and heard it this morning, and, you know, just sitting with it for the last couple hours. I just wanted to give my thoughts as raw as I could. But, you know, the Gravel Institute, that was something that he created after his 2020 presidential campaign. It's basically the left PragerU, in which case it doesn't suck. And they make amazing videos. They were an inspiration for me, honestly. They're an inspiration for my style of videos. And so, you know, you could say that Mike Gravel, aside from somebody like Bernie Sanders, was one of the most instrumental people in my political development. And I would not be, chances are I'll probably not be making these videos today if it weren't for something like the Gravel Institute. It was definitely an inspiration for me. And that gets to the main point. How can we honor his legacy? Well, first of all, subscribe to the Gravel Institute. That's the first thing you can do. Yeah, honor his legacy, subscribe to the Gravel Institute. They make amazing videos. Check them out. If you like me, you'll like them. Because they're like me, except they actually have a much better budget. And their videos are much better than mine. Who knows, maybe someday I'll be on their level. But aside from that, we can continue to fight for what he believed in. We can continue to fight for a free press and protecting whistleblowers. We can continue, and also, like, reporting information that the government has a right to know, and that's why we need to support small content creators on YouTube who are talking about the issues of importance that the mainstream media won't cover. And that's not just me. Believe me, there are so many better YouTubers than me who can cover this stuff. One that I've been watching a lot lately is Good Politic Guy. He's way better known than me, but, you know, he's somebody who I feel is still pretty underrated. I'll put his channel in the card as well. And, you know, if you've heard of me, you might have already heard of him because he has like almost 6,000 subscribers. I have under 60, so he is way more than me. But I mean, definitely give him a look. That's just one, and that's just one example too. You know, there are big names like Secular Talk, Humanist Report, just to name a couple. But, you know, these are some content creators that really are just amazing independent media on the left that are reporting the issues that the mainstream media won't talk about. And that's something we can do to honor Mike Gravel as well. Because that's exactly what the Pentagon Papers was. It was talking about the issues the media, corporate media wouldn't. And we can continue to do that, not only by supporting whistleblowers and supporting a free and open press, but by supporting independent media on YouTube. And if you want to talk about issues that are important to you, if you want to discuss issues that you don't think are being discussed enough, start your own YouTube channel and start talking about them. Just make the most of what you have. You may not have any video making skills. You may barely even have a camera. You might be using a webcam. Do it. Because we need more voices like Mike Gravel's. And, you know, if you feel that, you know, you have the kind of take no prisoners attitude that Mike Gravel has, run for office. If that's your style, if that's something you're interested in, run for office and say, you know, I'm going to come here and I'm just going to completely cause a ruckus. Whether that be at the state or local level, all politics is local to some extent. And you can definitely be the change you wish to see there. Or just get involved with a group, get involved with an advocacy group that you believe, that fights for a cause you believe in, and continue to get people on your side, because that's exactly what content creators like the Gravel Institute are doing with their messages, trying to spread the word about these important issues. So there are plenty of things that we can do to honor the legacy of Mike Gravel. And I hope that in some way, having this discussion helps get us closer. Not really closer. Again, you can see I didn't plan this video out, but it gets us to remember him. Because, again, an amazing figure in American politics. Someone who, he was rare. He was just someone who just would always speak his mind. Someone who would always do what's right, even if it was unpopular. And, you know, ultimately he will be remembered fondly for it. And you know what? As the more people who know about him, the more he is. You know? So, rest in peace, Mike Gravel. No, actually, you know what? Scratch that. Rest in power. Rest in power, Mike Gravel. And hopefully, we do our part to continue honoring his legacy and finishing what he started. Thank you for watching. If you want to check out some more of my discussion videos, I got a playlist for that right here. Otherwise, you can check out my last video right over here. And I know I already said it, but rest in power, Mike Gravel. You will be missed.